get in my way now.
Back here at GSL Codas Mana. I gotta say there was definitely a difference in performance there.
There was.
There really was.
He did manage to take game 2 off of Tasia with a well-timed 4-gate after Nexus. It was like a really weird timing of the 4-gate attack,
yep.
But very, very quick for one that's not an all-in. So he did a good job there, but the other 2 games, Tasia really showed him up. But you know what? Enough of that. Mana's going to face a loser of this next match. MVP against MMA.
MVP, MMA, 2 old rivals. They actually face each other in the BlizzCon final, or the GSL Codas finals, which he hosted at BlizzCon.
Yeah. And MMA is like all of MVP's TVT losses in GSL. In GSL, MVP has not beaten MMA in a series.
Yeah.
It is actually kind of staggering because MVP doesn't lose to anyone else. There was like a little circle where Holt could not beat MVP, and MVP could not beat MMA, and MMA could not beat Holt. And that's a little circle of TVT that we had for a very long time, and it's basically still true. But the 3 haven't really been meeting each other as much. Holt's been traveling a lot, MMA's kind of been out of the scene, and MVP's still been just sitting around winning everything. So we'll see if at least this part of it still exists.
All right, so can MVP come over his old adversary? And can MMA start to really get deep in Codas again? This guy kind of fell off for a little bit. And, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Again, group of death here. And let's see here. What is our first map, Ratos? It's
Whirlwind.
Whirlwind, okay.
So Whirlwind, a huge map. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Marine Tank.
Yep, should be a fairly long game, but we'll see for sure. All right, let's do this. Game number 1, MMA. It's MVP here in the GSL Codas.
GSL. Welcome to GSL Whirlwind.
All right, in the upper right, we have our Terran player, 1 of 2, champion of the GSL that we hosted at BlizzCon, and mentored by Slayer's Boxer, but now, kind of made a name for himself. He's kind of his own man now. He is
Slayer's MMA.
And in the bottom left starting location, we have our other Terran player. Many say he is the best player of all time. And obviously, what is it, 3-time GSL Codas champion? A complete monster of the game, Genie Terran. He is
AGIM MVP.
And I believe that on his wrists, that is for pain that he's experienced on his wrists.
Yeah, he has issues, actually.
I don't know what those things are called.
Wristband?
Are they called wristbands?
I don't know. I'm being
and would those actually heat up? Is that how that works?
I don't know the ones that he's using, but there's all sorts of different pads.
It's a lot. You can get injured playing StarCraft, believe it or not.
Oh, absolutely.
You can actually get tendonitis or
repetitive
carpal tunnel. I actually got tendonitis briefly.
It's a scary thing, actually. It's a really scary
it's
thing.
so painful.
I'm actually going to switch my chair and desk really soon because
I just put my monitor up on a bunch of books, and it's fixed my posture so much.
Yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something real quick before this gets too started. Both of them are, look at this, MMA's going command center first into gas, and MVP just went for like a barracks gas. So he's going to be teching up into something. We'll see what it's going to be. But interesting openers by these guys, completely different. But, it's interesting. You said mentored by Slayer's Boxer, and he named himself MMA, which is like a step up from boxing, right?
Yeah.
And so, let's say that there's another Terran to come next. Like, he would have to be
Slayer's.
What's up from that? It's like
Slayer's StarCraft,
Slayer's Jiu-Jitsu, and then like
no, MMA involves Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's mixed martial arts. So
I guess it
you have
has
jujitsu in
everything.
there.
How about like Slayer's Krav Maga? It's like eye gouges and stuff, like fighting. Right? Isn't that what that one is? Is that a crazy one where like you actually just try to kill your opponent?
Yes.
I believe so. I might be wrong, but and then there's I guess after that it comes up to like StarCraft, like Slayer's StarCraft. But then Artosis joins the team and gets really smart, and he's Slayer's sniper rifle. And then someone's like Slayer's nuclear missile, and someone's Slayer's asteroid
that destroys Earth.
And then someone's Slayer's sun exploding.
Slayer's biological plague or something like that.
It's not as much as exploding the Earth faces.
That's true. I'm not good at this game.
Slayer's end of time.
All right, so he's going to go ahead and make some reactor Hellions here.
Yeah. Cool opening to see, actually, to be honest. Reactor Hellion into expansion. It looks like he just wants to put some pressure on. If MMA doesn't have a bunker up, then that can really be an issue. And in fact, MMA is getting a reactor on his barracks. Is that for the factory? And I know that he's going to go right into Starport for sure, but... And yeah, it looks like he's going to go Reactor Hellion as well. And with the distance of this map... the thing is, you have to be up in Hellions for this to work. And in fact, MMA just scouted the Hellions, so... Will he actually have enough, though, against these Hellions coming in? He needs to have, like, 4 against 2. I don't know. We'll see if the timing actually works out that he can get that 4 at once against just 2 of MMA. Thing is, the travel distance is so long that he'll soon have 4.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do a ton of damage, at least not to the front, unless, I don't know, MMA leaves his base or something. I
think we're just going to see, a Viking out of MMA immediately. It's really smart. Because if he lands 1 Viking with these, he just holds the Hellions easily. And in fact, that's the end of the Hellions for MVP, staying on 4.
So he might poke up the ramp here.
Yeah, there's already 4 out for his opponent, so...
Nice control there by MVP.
Yeah, really nice control. In fact, he's ahead now.
Oh my God, look at that. Actually, look at that same
4
micro.
against 2. 3 against 1.
2 against 1.
How did this all happen? Okay, so that was really good handling, actually. And MMA going to continue on his Hellions for a bit. And it's kind of cool to... Oh, MVP is actually going for a 3rd command center right away. Going into tank Viking, which is as solid as you can get for an early game unit composition.
Yeah, it's pretty smart. And this, again, it should be a very long TVT.
Yeah.
It's just hard to attack the other guy. It's one of the reasons why on this map we don't see mech as much, because it's kind of hard to push out. The distance is so long to reinforce. And
yeah, it's to go mech here. It'll take a while to get across that map. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I love this opening from MMA that we've seen so far, where he's like, he's staying on Hellions for a little bit, and he's gotten a Viking, but you know, overall the Hellion Viking composition, which Gumio has really done a lot to pioneer, it's really mobile and it's really kind of safe too. It's like the Swiss Army knife of TVT.
Well said, Artosis. Looks like MMA is going to go ahead and show that he's got additional Hellions. He's going to move out here. MVP maybe trying to bait these Hellions into the high ground. Now note he put his tank there. Showed the tank first, but did not show the Marines.
Yeah. Doesn't want to have any idea. Right now it could be mech for all he knows.
Yeah, it certainly could be.
And it's, I mean, of course it's not going to be. It's going to be bio-tank, and it should be for both. In fact, yeah, MMA is even making his praxes. I don't expect either of these players to go for mech on this map. And in fact, MMA, I don't know if I've ever seen him go mech, so I expect actually in this whole series probably for him to stay on bio-tank.
MMA is just using the other Hellions to scatter around the map. It's very easy, if you're not careful, to lose to a hidden base on this map. They're just going to... You can make 2 hidden bases, let's say just at the top left here if you're either of these guys, and you don't find out until endgame when they're already mined out. You're like, oh, I guess I was behind the entire time.
Yeah, I guess every trade I made, I calculated wrong.
Now MVP is going to push out a little bit. Their supplies are dead even, but MVP wants to secure that 3rd base. And actually, MMA is going to get the 3rd base at almost the exact same moment.
Yeah.
So they're neck and neck right now.
They really are. This is a very close game at the moment. The one thing to say is that MMA has more SCVs at 54 against 47, so that's pretty considerable. But MVP's army, rather, is much bigger and much stronger. He's got twice as many tanks and twice as many Marines and twice as many Vikings. So that's, I mean, that's a lot. 4 and 16 Marines right now.
MMA is going to glide by here with a Hellion. He did not get taken out, and he does now see MVP as trying to, take up some of the map. Although MVP mostly seems to be just moving around trying to catch anything he can find. And he will actually manage to save that SCV.
No, not any big deals going on, though. I mean, that's stuff like that's going to be mildly annoying, but that's pretty much it. And, yeah, everything's looking how you would think TVT between these two would start out on this map. These two neck and neck.
Yep.
I'm really excited to see the exact form of MMA right now, though, because he's been a little bit missing, We haven't seen him playing in Code S for a while. He's been in Team League and stuff like that. He's skipped some foreigner events that he actually qualified for, citing that he wasn't in shape. But, yeah, it'll be exciting to see if he has overcome that.
All right, we're going to start to see the posturing, excuse me. I'm here in the middle. The watchtower pretty important here for TVT. It looks like MVP went up there just a few seconds too late. MMA siege just in time. So MVP's been pushed back a little bit here.
Supplies still very much neck and neck. I love the sensor towers that are coming up right now for MMA. That's something really important on a map of this size because it's going to take you so long, no matter how mobile your composition is, to get anywhere. So, wow, what was that stat? 72 hours of game time in GSL, I think it said? Oh my God. But yeah,
he's number 1 in GSL for game time.
Yeah.
I can't believe that means that we've, at least for just this tournament alone, we've casted 72 hours of MVP.
Yeah, he's he's done a little bit of GSTL, and we actually casted some of his GSTL, and he's been in Code A a little tiny bit. So for you and I, my guess is that we've casted over 60 hours easily of MVP.
Well, then think about that, yeah.
And then abroad,
we've probably been around to probably around 80.
Maybe.
Could be.
Now, MMA is actually out in the middle of the map with a very small force right now. I don't know what he's hoping to actually accomplish with 3 siege tanks and a handful of Marines. But MVP definitely could crush through that army. Now, he is going back to the center to
regroup here.
Yeah, regroup. And then he's going to actually have a fine army that's going to be a lot harder to hurt.
All right, now he's staying just outside the... oh, no, excuse me. I had a brain fart there. I thought he was outside of his... the opposing player's sentry tower. Anyways, so right now MVP is in a defensive position. MMA, I don't think he's going to get in there and do that much damage. As you can see, the tank count here, MVP is ahead. He's got 8-5, which is pretty big. I mean, if MVP stems, he gets in there and takes 2 or 3 tanks out, it could snowball, and MVP is going to get map domination.
We do have MVP active on the map with a medevac, but not doing anything with it quite yet. I think he might be waiting for even, something to be happening. And he's actually going to go for it, but this is not going to be good for M-Tasteless.
Yeah, he's going to have to turn around very quickly here.
Yeah, these missile turrets should be able to hit that.
And nice reaction, turns right around. Uh-oh, we got an attack coming up here.
And MVP doesn't have all his tanks siege, but does siege up some from behind. He has to make sure to keep enough Marines alive to stay a spotter for those tanks. Nice movement from MMA here, getting into a good spot.
More medevacs here. Well, I spoke too soon. More medevacs. It's even medevacs now. And if he gets over here, could stem and hit this orbital after he kills these Marines. That would be huge.
He does not want to allow this orbital to die. If he lost that, he'd get way behind. And now MMA is going to have to lift off and get out of here.
Really nicely done. Pulls out at the last second.
Very swift moves by both players there. Stopping each other from running into siege tanks. Trying to lure and bait into siege tanks. A good lift-off timing by MMA. Really just some top-level stuff we're watching right now. Now, it's time for people to start taking forts. That's going to be the next important part. You can't just send 3 base forever.
All right, and MMA is really smart. He backs up now. Saying, well, I can't do much more damage here. I might as well regroup. He's going to have the second time of barracks and factory if he wants to explosion, where he can now make like 4 more barracks. So while he's taking his 4th base, because he is maxed out, he's going to have additional money to spend.
Now MMA is really well defended at home and keeping on the aggressive as well. So MVP probably feels a little bit choked out right now.
So he can move a little bit easier. He's going to try to take out these destructible rocks over here.
And MMA MMA just continually moves back and forth, but with the sensor powers up for MVP at this point, he knows exactly where MMA is at. So these players are not going to break each other right now. This game should go like extremely long.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Artosis. There's no way for these guys to kill each other here.
Yeah.
Now, we'd have a hidden base here by MMA, and I think this is a smart move to do when you have map domination, is go take a hidden base.
Yes, agreed completely. Like, is he going to send a medevac down there? It takes a while to even get there. So
yeah, is he going to scan in that specific location? Probably not. He's too scared of MMA's army movement.
Yeah, you got to keep some scans. In fact, they are continually scanning each other.
We could have an engagement here. MMA point at the last second.
Oh, picks off a tank.
Whoa, really nice, though, the way you siege those tanks up that were in the back there, or I guess in the front, if you consider that direction they were moving. MVP.
That's a good way to put it. You're right. It's just funny.
Now he's going to stem and try to hit that orbital command center, and I don't know if MMA is going to be equipped to deal with it yet. You see an army moving up here on the mini-map. It's getting pretty low, actually.
But
that's too much of an yeah.
He's fine. And MVP going to go ahead and double expand from here. In fact, he's going to use some planetaries now.
As you can see, MMA is making his own sensor tower, so he can really keep MVP locked down. All right, he's unsieged now. MVP trying to come around here. This could be an overextension. And he could get the sensor tower here too, which is annoying.
Not huge deals on either side. Oh, that's a huge deal, though. We actually just missed. MMA just let a bunch of his tanks walk into tank fire, and he just did it again. Lost a lot of tanks there. They were actually almost even in tanks, and now it's 12-8 in MVP's favor.
All right, another scan here from MVP. MMA response to zone scan. Nice. I mean, that was a tough call.
But MMA comes in from the other side with a gigantic Marine flank.
Yeah, but you know what? There's just too many siege tanks, I think, now. MMA is going to do a lot of damage. Actually, he's doing way more than I thought he was going to do, but he's still been driven back. Now, the tank count here is actually 4-7, so MVP's still in a substantial lead, and he's reclaimed the center.
That was, I would say that's even, except for the fact that we have way more medevacs for MMA right now. So the bio forces of MVP are going to be hurting. It's 8 medevacs to just 1.
Wow.
Even though he does have more siege tanks, which is important, the mobility factor on a map like this is super important as well, and MMA's got that covered.
As you can see, they're both beginning to transfer their SCVs now as those additional bases have finished. And this is tough, guys, because they are maxed out and taking so many locations on the map. No planetary is made here for MVP because he wants to make sure he can't lose this unless, of course, siege tanks come into play, which we're seeing now.
And look at this, he's going to go after this planetary.
Oh, is he not going to repair it?
He's repairing it, I don't know if it's enough, though. Looks like nope.
Just not enough.
Way too much damage output with that +3 attack. But his army might be trapped here. He's going to set up in defensive position, just try to trade well, but he doesn't want to lose these medevacs. It's really one of his big leading points.
Yep. Here come the Marines fanning out right now. Yeah. And MVP is going to completely obliterate this. No problem. Easy peasy.
But he might save the medevacs, which is a little bit painful. Looks like he just loses 1 there.
Oh, looks like he's not even watching. Oh, God. MVP had an opportunity to really shoot down those medevacs and did not.
MVP just assuming that he would get out of there, and realistically should have, but he will anyways because of that. So, one thing I do want to point that I love to see from MMA here, he's getting really quick Terran building armor, which will help out so much in little Marine snipes of planetaries. Something we do want to see from MVP as well.
All right, MVP right now with a pretty good arc here. And he's going to take out those siege things. Again, it's a little scuffle here for the center. Nobody really has that watchtower just yet.
Yeah. And it is 14 tanks to 7 in MVP's favor. He's lacking in 20 SCVs. That's where the supply difference is, but they have the same amount of Marines, basically.
We got this planetary completely wiped out. Nice. Don't forget, oh wait, hold on. He's attacking over here. MMA getting completely wiped out as MVP now once again controls the center here.
Yeah. We've had some great command center sniping by MMA, but he doesn't have the forces to back it up, and this superior army of MVP is walking across the map now.
MVP, this is the first time he's actually had control of the map and is actually in his opponent's territory with anything more than a drop right now. He could very well get the 3rd in the next 2 top bases, which put MVP and a substantial lead. Now he's going to try to gun down the orbital. If he gets the orbital, that would be huge.
He might be overextending with those Marines, though. He's got to keep enough alive to buffer for his siege tanks. Now,
MMA now taking out reinforcements as well.
Yeah, great job there, killing anything going to that rally in the center. But MVP is going to walk around the map and really harass these bases that MMA has set up.
This better be good.
So MVP knows his army is probably going to be isolated. He's not able to produce at the same rate here as MMA, who is maxed out compared to the 150 supply here for MVP. All right, now a lot of this comes down to how they engage.
And, well, that's a lot of siege-up tanks for MVP right now. I feel like he should be able to easily hold this off for now, but he's got to keep his Marines alive. Indeed, he does run back and keep them alive for now.
Yeah, MMA actually didn't handle that right at all. And he is going to lose his planetary. You know it's MVP. After the siege tank volley, he ran back just enough so his Marines wouldn't take any damage while they were healed. And then he waited for the next tank volley before turning around again.
Really great play there. Now, both these guys are starting to sneak command centers around him more. MVP taking the top left, the bottom right. MMA has all his mules at, so he's doing a great job mining, even though he's just had to give up a couple bases. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, nothing but a loss here for MVP.
That's a pretty big deal.
But has the damage already been dealt? MVP did a great job there. The supplies are evening out a little bit.
They are, but the thing is, it's completely switched. MVP's way up in Marines, but way down in tanks. 10 tanks to 5. MMA in the favor there. We also have MMA with 12 medevacs against just 5. So he's actually, even though he's way outclassed in Marines and mining bases, his army overall is a bit stronger.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Well, it looks like he's going to have to move out now and hit this bottom base or the center left or top left base here while MMA has somewhat of an edge. Well, little drop back here behind the planetary, forcing that base to be unmineable. Now stimming as he realizes this base is just not going to be able to defend itself. Planetaries are good, but just not good enough on their own against a big army coming in from MMA.
That's right. And once again, I really wish that MVP would get that building armor. It would help out and slow down those deaths a little bit and definitely net him a lot more Marine kills overall. Now, way worth the small price.
If he could intercept this army with all these medevacs here and take them out, then MVP could get a lead again.
That's right, but MMA does have that lead right now. And here we go. He's stimming and running in. He's got to spread out really well, though. That's a lot of siege tanks. In fact, kills everything off. And the medevacs trying to get away. Will they?
No, they're all taken out. Thought that one was going to die for sure.
I think MMA thinks he's dead anyways.
You've seen that happen a couple times with him.
Yep. So, right now we do have MMA trying to retake some bases. MVP's still doing a great job. He's dropping his mules in the top left at this point, which is very helpful to keep his mineral counts up.
Their 3 main bases are almost mined out, basically.
Yeah.
So, it's all about these additional bases on the map. Now we have him coming up here, stimming and sieging up.
MVP's way down in supply right now. He's very careful and positional with this. And in fact, doing a great job with
what is MMA doing here?
That was sloppy.
That was really bad.
I think he attacked, moved down the map with his group, and some of it went in the wrong direction.
Right.
I think that's what happened.
He's going to get this orbital for sure. And goodbye. So we have a counterattack here from MMA, excuse me. Now there's no point in him going down this way. He's actually going to the wrong location. There's nothing of any value down here.
Yeah, I think he probably thinks that there's going to be another command down there, but there is not, in fact.
MMA is now northbound right now. He might try to intercept MVP's army. It's really tough to say who's going to win what fight because it's just all about how well you control your army, how good your micro is.
And MMA looks like he wants to snipe some more planetaries here.
Now, there's been so much going on here. MVP does know about the bottom right, correct?
MVP about the bottom right? No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Wow.
Still, that was taken forever ago, too. That's probably, like you said, going to be mined out before he even realizes that it's there.
All right, as you can see, defensive planetary placed over there.
Oh, my God.
Nice.
A very good idea, but it ends up backfiring. All right, he has killed off that planetary that he went up there for. But is he trapped now?
Could be. That's what's nice about having a ton of medevacs. You can actually pick up all your tanks and your Marines and actually fly back into a good spot.
True. That's so true. Now, MVP is doing a little bit better job here because he's not being as aggressive in a lot of ways. Actually zoning out these attacks by MMA. Look, MMA keeps on walking up, but MVP hasn't lost a command center in quite some time now. So that has definitely kept his income going very, very well. But that bottom right is really what's kept MVP or MMA alive in this game this long. It's really given him that extra income that he needs.
All right, as you can see now, MMA, I think he's trying to find something he can do that's going to get him a lead here. I don't know if it's there. Now there's siege takes here, but it might not be enough. The MMA is going to siege his own siege takes over here. He's attempting to sandwich MVP here, and it's not going to work. The Marines are going to spill in here and just do too much damage there. He took out all those siege tanks. There's a few more still in the back.
And MVP right now is really focusing on Marine production. He already has 17 tanks and realizes he needs more Marines over the tanks right now. Because with that big tank lead, yeah, that's nice, but he's got to get a little bit more mobile and get around the map more. And at this point, I really feel like, you know, I'm looking at MVP.
Okay, he just now found that.
Oh, that's painful. And he's going to look at those minerals right now and be like, oops, those are almost all gone.
Yeah. But at least now he knows, and he saw that it's almost mined out, so it's not too much of a threat as it is a disappointing moment in his ability to garner intel.
And here we go. He's going to start trying to clear everything out. The siege tank's a little bit too scary with that +3 attack, though.
All right, so he did kind of a funky position. MMA actually managed to, or MVP, excuse me, managed to force his way in and get that watchtower. I don't know, I'm sure, yeah, I was going to say eventually MVP will react to that. But really, you know, he doesn't, MMA does not have the center. The center right location is the only real cash cow he has. And MVP is just proving, even when he's behind, he's better at maneuvering here.
Now, as we do, oh man, this is a huge flank coming up right here, cleaning out some more siege tanks. MMA, he has higher supply, but you know, he's getting pushed up against the wall right now. It's 11 siege tanks to 22.
You can
that
see
is a huge difference.
MMA is desperately trying to hold whatever part of the center he can, and it's just not really working.
What is MMA's game plan here? He's going to have to outmaneuver his opponent somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, he's going to have to leave a siege up tank line, but if MVP actually drops on it, he's going to be in trouble. And that's what's going to happen.
All right, he's stimming up and going in, taking out these siege tanks over here. Really rendering MMA's army useless. Now, granted, MMA is still able to max out at the snap of a finger. Yeah. You know, every time he's maxing out, he's spending more of his money. You can see, despite how many bases there are, neither player is able to, you know, get too much with how good their macro is. How many battles are actually occurring here?
Well, looks like another planetary could be taken out here in the top left.
Yeah, this time.
Meantime, yeah, this battle is a little bit more important. Going to take out a huge chunk of MMA's army once again.
And he's continuing to chase him. There's no center control here for MMA anymore. In fact, losing some medevacs. Now, MVP could push the center right.
Yeah, I think that's what he wants to do.
I think that's where his goal is.
That bottom right is whatever, finish it, get all the minerals there. But if he can get this other base, that's really the only other place that MMA is mining from. But now, actually, MVP isn't really mining. He's got one base mining at this point. He's trying to get 2 more going, but MMA is everywhere.
Losing some SCVs here.
He's there, and he's also at another base.
And the other orbital, if you can see on the mini-map, top left, the orbital is actually going to go down.
There he is. And now MMA doing pretty well overall. MVP is finally deciding to take out that bottom right. Every mineral counts at this point.
And there are no Marines here to help out, so he could actually take his SCVs and attack that tanks and be fine. Then again, there's no way for MMA to really know that in that distance. And this is MVP's last base. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe look, this game's actually going to switch back in MVP.
It could.
I mean, MMA, excuse me.
All right, well, here we go. He's going for this orbital. MVP should be repairing here. This isn't that many Marines. And in fact, he does repair. Good catch there.
Nice. Takes out that medevac with the Marines in it.
Ooh, we got all of them.
Damn, snap that down. And now we have, you know, MVP, excuse me, with just solid center control here still. But the other problem is, for MMA, center right and top center are both pretty resource-rich expansions. So this game can keep going on. I mean, there's no reason that MMA is going to get starved out here.
Yeah. You know, it's becoming such a difficult game here where there's a lot of positional advantages on high grounds with siege tanks that you can take. but the map is so long, you can always walk around a bit.
All right, he's just going to push in here. All right, now.
Besides, that's not a good idea.
Wow, that planetary got owned.
Almost killed a tank, though. I've seen more tanks die to planetaries today than
ever
I never
before.
thought I would.
Yes. All right, he's sieging up. And it looks almost as though MVP's decided, well, I can't really go top, I can't really go to the right, but I can try to leapfrog my tanks and just get into MMA's base. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just going to try to do this. This is very gutsy.
And MMA is going to walk around. Is he going to go for a flank here, or is he just... Okay, he might just go down and try to kill bases, but looks like MVP is onto him.
Okay, and actually MVP might have set up a perfect trap. He scans, though. He sees it. Will he keep going? He tries to set up and defend here. Wow.
Yeah, wow, MVP just has way too much here.
Yeah, look at that. He's just fanning his tanks out.
That's right.
Wow, that was a nice setup there by MVP.
Yeah. Reasonably cost efficient for part of that battle for MMA, but definitely not the type of battle that he's going to have to take if he wants to win this game.
Yeah, exactly.
But MVP right now is down to 31 SCV, so that's kind of a big deal against the 53 of MMA.
And he's going to try to get this base. He's been trying to get this entire game. Will he get it?
Uh-oh.
He sees the siege tanks. He could stem. Oh, nice. He's going to try to drop. So smart. So smart.
So well done. And in fact, screens do come up, so he's going to have to get out of there, but did a great job against those siege tanks.
And, man, this game is insane, Artosis.
Yeah, it is just complete
This
craziness.
is a 40-minute insane TVT.
Indeed it is, and in fact, you know, this is one of those games that makes your brain tired after playing it because it's just so back and forth all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
We can't even guess right now who is actually going to win this game.
It's been totally back and forth.
It really has been.
Definitely recommend this game to your friends, guys.
Yeah.
Sieging up.
The actual army of MVP is slightly better right now, but the economy of his opponent's a little bit better. MMA is just everywhere on
And he's going to get this orbital down in the bottom center. That actually, I think we might suddenly see the beginning of the end here.
Yeah,
no
it
more
definitely
orbital
could be.
there. And in the center left, there's really not.
There's not many minerals.
There's not many minerals there. So all the man has to do is keep getting more bases and not lose any units, anything silly now.
I gotta agree with Tasteless. This is looking better and better for MMA, and it's all hinged on how long he had that bottom right expansion. Just as you were saying, he didn't scout it till too late, didn't even end up killing it, and he got. I mean, if he didn't have those minerals, there were times where that was the only place he was really mining from.
Yeah.
And MVP was pretty sure he had the lead.
Wow, and this is exactly what MVP could not afford to do.
Yeah.
And this may be, though, I mean, there was many of them, but this may have been the one move out of everything here at the end game that would have cost him the game.
Yeah.
He's getting his base sieged up, his expansion
He's
sieged
got
up.
nothing left, man. This is actually it. He's actually that basically was the ending move right there. He lost a huge chunk of his tanks. He's barely mining any minerals. He has almost no SCVs. He's landing another command center at that bottom center base. He has to keep that there.
That's the one from his main, I think.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, MMA, it looks like he may be in a race to go down to the bottom center. No, excuse me. He's going to go ahead and regroup here. But if you look at the supplies, that's kind of the real story here. Is 177 to 98.
Yeah.
And MVP's supply barely moving right now. In fact, he actually has only 24 SCVs to the 46 of MMA. So this should be the twilight of him. And I think he's put it together. He put together all the possibilities and said, wait a minute, I'm gone. Wow, almost a 45-minute game, Artosis.
Craziness.
Insanity. One of the better TVTs we've ever casted.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Wow. That was all over the place, and MMA just showed his superior multitasking skill. He was everywhere at once. Even though he kept on losing tanks, he kept his marine count up and ran around the map and killed enough command centers enough times that MVP just could not hold on.
Looks like history might just repeat itself in this case, guys.
MVP's like, why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah.
I don't know, MVP. I don't know.
Sella's in there talking to MMA right now. MMA's got to be feeling
He's
good
like,
about
just
that.
do anything. You can't lose to this guy.
Yeah.
It's
He's like
MVP,
talking about the prophecy in there. He's like, the prophecy says Gelflings will destroy us. And he's like, no, I mean the other prophecy. He's like, oh, yeah, that you'll always beat MVP. Yeah, man.
That's part of the prophecy right there.
We know what those
oracles.
We know what those hieroglyphics were all about now.
Yeah.
All right.
They threw the bones, and that's what came up.
Yeah. They threw the chicken blood on the bones or whatever. Yeah.
The oracles entombed the minerals, man, and that's what was told.
Yeah.
All right. Daybreak is our next map. This is a completely different style map. This is going to favor MVP a little bit because it's not as wild and crazy all over the place. MVP in a methodical game, I feel like, is a bit better than MMA. MMA needs that craziness. It needs to be running around the map.
MMA's playstyle is a little bit more of a flurry of action. And
absolutely.
MVP he's very fast and solid, or he wouldn't be so accomplished, but he's also a bit more of a calculated player than MMA.
Look, MMA is Liu Kang's bicycle kick, and MVP is Sub-Zero's freeze.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
And then what are we, Artosis?
Well, I'm Raiden's flying punch thingy, and your scorpions get over here.
Oh, okay, I was going to say that. Or we could just be Goro since we're in Archon. We got 4 arms.
There you go.
All right. Imagine Goro playing StarCraft, man. That wouldn't even be fair. He has so many hands.
But he's got those giant fingers.
Oh, that's right. He has Ninja Turtle. He's got Ninja Turtle fingers.
Yeah, so he would actually need like
be
a
terrible.
giant keyboard. I don't think that he could move fast enough.
That's okay.
Too many muscles.
I rest my point. All right. Well, it looks like we're going to get this going now. MMA against MVP. The rivalry continues, and so far, it's MMA who continues to be on top. And indeed, the game is now loading. So get ready for a sick TVT here in the group of death for this season of the GSL Code S.